Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another episode of Journal with me. In this episode, I'm going to be journaling on my third signature. I don't know if you guys remember, but I think I did mention it in my last episode of this series that I have denominated each of my signatures to a certain theme. And the third signature in my journal is basically just free space for me to do whatever I want. So this signature is actually not limited to a theme. It's more like an open area for me to just express myself however I want. Although I will be using some items of my past in this journaling process, but we'll get to that point in a few. So what I'm trying to do in the first page, because I'm going to be using 3 pages and there's a lot that I want to journal about. But what I'm doing in the first page right here is I'm just trying to create a background that sort of frames the center of the page where I'm going to write. And so I wanted, whatever I'm going to write, I want it to be with a blank background. And I found this paper on Daphne Diaries magazine, and I just, I was hoarding it for a little while, so I was able to use it in this journaling process. So I'm just going to be journaling about romance in a way. I think it's just about love in general, because I like to keep favorite quotes, and I like to keep things that, whenever I read them, make me feel like I'm in touch with my inner self. And so that's what I'm going to do in this journaling process. I'm just going to write down some favorite quotes from books, some of my favorite lyrics from certain love stories. There's the opera of Turandot, and then there's also Tristan and Isolde, which are some of my favorite love stories. I also like Romeo and Juliet, and I also like some of the stories from Jane Austen. Pride and Prejudice and Persuasion. I think Persuasion is my favorite book from Jane Austen, and it's not a very well-known book because it was the last book that she wrote, and she actually didn't physically publish the book. She had it in a drawer, and she passed away before she could get it published. But I think that her agent got it published for her or something like that. I don't know if I told the story correctly. And aside from that, I'm also going to be using some of my own love story. I'm going to use some of the love letters that I got from my ex-boyfriends and poems that I got sent by email back when AOL was the thing, In the first page, I actually wrote my favorite quotes from Pride and Prejudice, and it's not really a love quote. It's more about what pride is versus vanity. And it's actually a quote that Lisbeth's sister Mary delivers in the book. She's just talking about pride versus vanity, and I really think that it's probably the best quote in the entire story. I really like it because she just clearly puts it out there that they're just very different things, and a person can be proud without being vain. Is something that I really like. And actually what you're seeing here in the video now, and these are 2 letters that one of my boyfriends at the time, well, not one of my boyfriends at the time, but my boyfriend at the time, because I didn't have more than one at a time. My gosh. My boyfriend at the time, he would write me letters when he was at work, and he would just give them to me after when he met me at home. This particular relationship that I had, I was actually coming out of a breakup with the person I fell in love with for the first time. And so I had broken up with him well, he had broken up with me, so I was in a very bad situation where my heart was very much heartbroken. And I met this other guy, and he insisted that we dated. And I did tell him that I was not in the right place to date, and that I had no real feelings for him. Just, I thought he was cute, but other than that, I really didn't think any much else. But he insisted that we dated, and that he was okay with it. And he would write me letters when he was at work. And I've always felt bad that I jumped into that relationship when I shouldn't have, and that I might have broken his heart in return. So I wanted to honor him, and so I kept his letters. I always kept them, and so I decided to use them in this journaling process. What I'm doing now is I'm gluing down a love note that I got from my high school boyfriend. He used to write me love notes, or dedicate poems to me, or write me poems. So I'm actually going to use 3 things from him. The love note, which I glue already. I'm going to use a poem that he wrote for me, and I'm going to also have like a love letter as well. Those are basically the things that I'm going to be using. I'm also going to be using a poem that was sent to me by a random person, on AOL. So I really don't know who the person is, but he sent me a poem. So I've always kept it because it was really cute. So I'm going to be using that as well. So right now, I'm just trying to put away. That's the poem that my high school boyfriend wrote for me. So I'm just trying to find a place where I can put them away, that they're not going to be too bulky. And I found a good spot for the poem, and I'm gonna do something cute. I'm gonna just I attached this paper clip that says "Be inspired." Attached it there. And the other little piece of paper that I have that is folded, that you can see on the right side of the screen, that is the other love letter that he wrote me. So I'm just gonna put it on that tuck spot. So just basically, I've been trying to have some pockets and tuck spots where I can put the memories, the poems, and the love notes, and the love letters, and things like that. And I'm going to describe what's in the pockets, what's in the tuck spots. I'm not actually going to write about my past, because this is not the journaling process for that. I wasn't trying to go into my past and remember things. Or I wanted to journal about romance. I wanted to journal about the idea of love and the feeling of love, right? And I wanted to have in a part of my journal some of the things that I really like and enjoy, that I have enjoyed throughout my life, and I continue to enjoy, with which are the quotes from the books and the lyrics and such things. And to make things more interesting, I thought that it would be super cool to add the aspects of my past, like the love letters and things like that. So that's basically the journaling idea. And it probably took me 10 minutes in the video to finally describe the journaling idea in shorter words. So yeah, what I'm gonna do in the following, I think 12 minutes or 11 minutes, I don't know. I'm just going to try to fill in the blanks of the pages, right? So in this lower part of the first page, I'm going to do another quote, and I think this is actually parts of the aria from Turandot, the Nessun Dorma aria, and this is just one of the verses. So I'm gonna write it there, and I'm gonna glue it to the front page. I also do some quotes from Romeo and Juliet. I think I do about 2 quotes from Romeo and Juliet. I think that Tristan and Isolde is the last one that I do. The name of the aria for Tristan and Isolde, it's actually very hard for me to pronounce. A verse from Liebestod, I think it's the last verse. It's what I actually wrote down last in the journaling process. Here is where I'm going to journal about the poem that was sent to me via email. The poem from the random guy. I know it might be kind of confusing because I have a poem from my high school boyfriend, poem from a random guy. It's just weird. maybe not. I don't know. I'm going to actually transfer the poem to this... what is it called? It's a doily, but she calls it Linen Printables from Johanna. And I will link her shop below. So I'm going to transfer the poem to the back of the doily. And I know that it wasn't, from the beginning, I knew that it was not going to fit in completely because the poem is too long. I try to write very small sometimes, but even then I knew that it was not going to fit. So what I did, I wrote the last verse, I think, of the poem in that little piece of paper, and I glued it to the journal. I made it seem like it was part of the background, because what I plan to do in that ledger paper, on the inside when you flip it out, I want to do a collage of different papers, and I just want to write on top of them, like make it seem like there's like different things that came together. That was the idea for the collage. So that's basically what I'm gonna do. And after I finish doing the collage and all of that, I am going to journal. I'm going to put my thoughts down. And like I said, it's not really about my past. It's more about the idea of romance, love, or what I think about it and my thoughts on it. So I am going to put my thoughts down on that. And again, the last thing that I do, I think, as far as writing, is I write down the verse of the Tristan and Isolde aria, Liebestod. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I might be like just really, really saying it completely wrong. But I'll link below the aria of Turandot. I'll link below that aria. They're just very pretty. But yeah, so I'm going to stop rambling now and actually just leave you guys to enjoy the last bit of the journal. I think it's like six more minutes into the video, and so you guys know already what I'm gonna do. So that's basically it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this journaling process. It's been a while since I did the last one, and I really haven't journaled because I wanted to always record my journaling process. It's something that I thought that I would always do. So But yeah, I felt that this one was kind of awkward for me. But I hope that you guys were able to take some inspiration from this, that you were able to, get inspired to journal in your own journal. And if you guys have any romantic quotes that you love, leave them down in the comments. I would love to know what are your thoughts on romance or love, if it's something that you really like. Well, obviously everybody likes love, but what I mean is if it's, something that you go for when you read books and watch movies and, things of that nature. That's basically it, you guys. I'll see you guys here again in my next journaling process. Until then, stay safe and journal lots and lots. Bye-bye.